Hare Krishna, very dear devotees. Welcome back again to our ever-ongoing series on the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavade Paschatya Deshatarane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So yesterday I found a very beautiful quote by Srila Prabhupada which underlines the importance of hearing and chanting about Krishna, as we are doing in these lectures each week. Srila Prabhupada wrote in a letter to a disciple on March 3rd, 1970 as follows: "Always remember Krishna, who is your dearmost friend, and always serve him just to please him, and he will give you all intelligence how to become a first-class devotee. Just try to learn all about Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna, and you will become a great preacher in our Krishna consciousness movement." So Prabhupada wrote, just try to learn all about Krishna. So through these lecture series, we are trying our best to learn all about Krishna. So today, we'll continue with our discussions on the monsoon season. And this will be part 3, and our final talk on the monsoon season, which will also conclude our greater series on the 6 seasons of Vrindavan. Yes. There's one outstanding season, the dewy season, or sometimes referred to as the foggy season. But I was reading it's very much tied into the winter season, which I feel we covered extensively before. So this will conclude this series on the 6 seasons in Braj. So, in Vrindavan Dham, the monsoon season lasts for 2 or 3 months. But 1 month in particular is very much appreciated in the temples in Vrindavan, and it's known as the month of Shravan. Shravan. And this year, that falls between, at least here in India, July 23rd and August 20th. Now, in the month of Shravan, every evening in the temples in Vrindavan, devotees sing bhajans in melodies corresponding to the monsoon climate. These melodies, as many of you know, are called Ragas. And in the monsoon season, the prominent ragas are Mega Malhara Rag and Barha Rag. Those of you who are music students, you'll know very clearly what that means. And a number of the prominent bhajans that are sung in these melodies in the temples were actually composed by a famous singer in Emperor Akbar's court in the mid-1500s. His name was Tansen. We spoke about him quite extensively a couple of months ago. And Tansen was not a Muslim, he was a Vaishnava, and he was a disciple of Sri Haridas, a great spiritual master, who lived in Nidhivan in Vrindavan, and who historically established the deity of Monkey Bihari. So our Tansen wrote a beautiful song or poem in the Mega Malhara Rag, which translated means, this melody, the melody of the raining cloud. It makes sense because it's monsoon, the melody of a raining cloud. So his song briefly describes the lifting of Govardhan Hill and how the mighty Indradev ordered his clouds to pour torrents of rain on Vrindavan, and how Krishna held up Govardhan Hill, and he writes, protected all Braja's residents, including insects, worms, animals and birds, from the gigantic raindrops, he says, the gigantic raindrops. And Tansen concludes, he says, "O Lord, so wonderful are your ways." I summarized this song because it's very popular during the month of Shravan in the Vrindavan temples. They sing it there. Now, in the Radharaman temple, during the Dup Artik each day in the monsoon season, devotees sing a song which describes a particular beautiful pastime in which Srimati Radharani becomes angry with Radharamanji. And they're singing that as a result, like we have kirtan, we chant Hare Krishna during the artiks, but they sing this song during the Dup Artik every day. And they sing that, Radharani is angry with Radharamanji, and that as a result of Sri Radha's displeasure, the ghanta, or the big temple, the big bell in the Radharaman temple, it sounds like thundering clouds. And the smoke of the incense makes the room dark like monsoon clouds. And the light of the ghee lamp seems to blaze like lightning in monsoon clouds. And they continue singing, and they're creating this monsoon atmosphere. And they continue singing that Radharaman, he becomes like a peacock. And he dances in front of Sri Radha to appease her man or her anger. Now, at the completion of this artik ceremony in Radharaman temple, when they blow the conch, all the devotees go, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, which indicates that Radharaman was successful in pacifying Sri Radha, and they're together again. So everyone's happy. Jai Ho. So all this happens in the temple during the monsoon season. Particular songs for different seasons. Now, in Vrindavan, amongst the Brajabasis, it's well known that Krishna really loves this monsoon season. It's one of his favorites. And one reason is because the monsoon season is the season of Vamsa Vridhi. Vamsa Vridhi, which literally means the time when the peacocks increase their families. But it's noted without any sexual contact. And in this regard, Shastra says there are two things that are very dear to the Lord because of their brahmachari nature. One is the banana plant, and the other is the peacock, because they're both brahmachari. They don't indulge in sexual activities to increase their family. So how is this? Well, the banana tree is unique in the world of plants in that it produces no seeds. And there's no pollination process with its flowers for reproduction like in other plants. The only way a banana tree can be reproduced is that the farmer takes a part of the banana tree, usually down, not the roots, but the bottom of the stalk. He breaks a little bit off. He literally puts it in the soil, waters it, and it starts to grow. So in that sense, the banana tree is brahmachari. It doesn't require a partner to reproduce. It's all very interesting. Now, the peacock, the male peacock, he's also brahmachari, but in a different sense. Shastra says that when the male peacock sees the dark clouds of the monsoon season and hears the thundering of those clouds, he becomes excited and he starts dancing in happiness. He opens his feathers like that we see sometimes here in Braj. And when this male peacock sees his reflection in a body of water like a lake or a pond, he becomes intoxicated with his beauty. But when he looks down and sees his ugly feet, Shastra says, a teardrop falls from his eyes. And at that time, the peahen, meaning the female peacock, she comes and drinks that tear and becomes pregnant. This is Shastra. She drinks that tear and she becomes pregnant. So in that sense, the peacocks are brahmachari. No sexual contact. So Krishna appreciates these two brahmacharis, the banana tree and the peacock, or any brahmachari for that matter. We know that verse from Bhagavad Gita, Prashant Atma Vigatabir Brahmachari Vratesh Chita Mana Samyamya Machchito Ashukta Ashita Matpara. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. Oh, brahmacharya. Anyway, appreciating the peacock's many contributions to the beauty and the culture of Vrindavan, especially during the monsoon season when there's so many new peacocks, it's one of the main reasons, Shastra says, that Krishna wears a peacock feather in his hair, on his head. And some special days in the month of Shravan, in the monsoon season, on very special days, also Vrindavan's deities are dressed in outfits made entirely out of peacock feathers. That we can't do in the West. We can follow in the footsteps of the Brajabasis, on special days like Radhastami, we can give our deities flower outfits. But we can't find enough peacock feathers to make a whole outfit. So that's something special about Braj you have to come and see in the month of Shravan. Beautiful, the deity is just, the whole outfit's peacock feathers. So Krishna loves the peacocks. It's special in Braj. But perhaps the main event in the month of Shravan during the monsoon season is, without a doubt, Julan Yatra. Julan Yatra means the swing festival, very popular in ISKCON as well. And in this daily festival, it happens every day in the month of Shravan, all the temples in Vrindavan, they place a big silver or wooden swing in their temples, and they swing their deities. Generally in the evening, they swing the deities. Sometimes the big deities, but very often the Utsav deities, the festival, the smaller deities, they swing every day. And during this time, I know because I've been 3 years now in Vrindavan, you often hear the Brajavasis singing these two famous shlokas, I guess you could say. Jula Jule Radha Damodar Vrindavan Men Kaishi Chai Hari Yali Ali Kunchan Men. This is in Brajabhasa. Oh, Radha Damodar are swinging on the swing in Vrindavan. Oh friend, how very green the kunja is, because it's monsoon. That's short but very sweet. You hear that everywhere. They also sing Ade Jula Badharo Chuke Ai Bhadaraj Huka Ai Badhara Gir Ai Badhara. Oh Radha, go and sit on the swing. Low rain clouds have come and filled the sky. All related to monsoon. They sing these verses during the month of Shravan. Now, I read a detailed description of these swings, which are so much part of the month, in the Vrindavan Research Institute, and how on different days these swings are decorated with nature's gifts, different gifts of nature. For example, on some days the swings in the various temples are decorated with just the leaves and vines of trees, whereas on another day they're decorated just with fruits. And some days I saw also they're decorated just with corn, and other days with flowers or various vegetables, like that. It's a detail, but it's very interesting. A lot of variety every day. You walk around Vrindavan and the month of Shravan you see in the temples. And it's really interesting. One Vaishnav poet, Parmananda, I quoted him a few days ago. He describes in his writings how the two ropes of these swings represent two aspects of life, shuka and dukkha, meaning happiness and distress. And the seat, the main seat of the swing, represents our heart. where hopefully the divine couples sit, if we invite them. And he says, when we push the swing and it goes forward, the divine couple take the problems of life from us. The divine couple take the problems of life away from us. And when the swing comes back towards us, the divine couple give us their love. When it comes back, they give us their love. So sweet. So this is the mood in swinging Radha and Krishna during Julan Yatra. Hare Krishna. Now, the swing festival in the Radha Vallabha temple is very famous because every evening when Radha Vallabha come out to swing on the swing, the pujaris, there's a big crowd and they're all chanting, and the pujaris spray the entire crowd with these big instruments that spray out scented water, so much so that it gives the impression it's raining like the monsoon season. And everyone becomes happily wet because previously it was the hot season, so no one minds getting all wet. Monsoon. And in Radharaman's temple, in their swing festival daily, it's very interesting. They give Radharaman a drink every day with black peppers in it. The black peppers are mixed in, and it's called pana. Pana. And the pilgrims like to get that maha. Also, I read that throughout Vrindavan, in the month of Shravan, all the deities wear clothes, or outfits, let us say, that are different shades of green, like dark green and light green and something in between, or a combination. And their jewelry is made of jalasutta. Jalasutta, it means the son of the ocean. And who is the son of the ocean? Pearls. So the jewelry is made of jalasutta, the son of the ocean, pearls. And also the priests in the temples, they also wear green silk dhotis. It's described for the pleasure of their Radha and Krishna deities, in accordance with the mood, in the sense that because of the rain, there's lush vegetation all around Vrindavan. Vrindavan was dry during the summer, and now, the rains have come and everything's green and there's flowers blossoming, etc. So kind of in that mood, as the deities are wearing different shades of green to celebrate, so are the pujaris. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. And I also discovered that during the month of Shravan, Govindadev, big Govindadev, deity in Jaipur, he actually sits for a few days on a big antique swing made entirely out of gold and silver. And there's guards there, obviously. He's a big deity, but somehow they get him on a swing. It's an old antique piece made of gold and silver. So actually the whole of Vrindavan enjoys this Julan Yatra festival, the swing festival, with great pleasure for an entire month. As we've been discussing Vrindavan for several years now, isn't it? It's one festival after another. One festival after another. All centered around Radha and Krishna, or Krishna and Balaram, and the residents of Vrindavan. That way we can understand the Brahma Samhita statement that in Vrindavan, all walking is dancing, all talking is singing, and there's a festival every day, but a variety of festivals. So Julan Yatra. So everyone's celebrating, and they're all happy. There's a certain happiness there in the month of Shravan. However, I did read in the writings of one poet about a gopi in Krishna Leela who, because her in-laws would not let her go and swing with Krishna, because Krishna swings with the other gopis as well, at least they get to also push Radha and Krishna on the swing, but her in-laws wouldn't let her go. So she was feeling intense separation from Krishna, so much so that whenever a small drop of the monsoon rains touched her body, although that would be generally welcome because the hot summer's just finishing, for her, she felt the raindrops were piercing her body. Why is that? Because it's said in Vrindavan, in Braj Bas language, Lagat bhund katari piyabhin. Lagat bhund katari piyabhin. It means she's thinking, the raindrops now feel like a dagger in the absence of my beloved Shri Krishna. The raindrops now feel like a dagger in the absence of my beloved Shri Krishna. Deep. So during the month of Shravan, also is reading, the temple pujaris, they offer their deities specific sweets, kheer, gunjia sweets, sesame luglus, burfi, and some other sweets. And also they offer a very sweet dish called feni, which means the type of sweet feni. It's offered in the temples, they offer a lot to the deities, and it's widely distributed to the pilgrims and visitors who come to see them. So dear Prabhus, these are some of the glories. Vrindavan's full of unlimited glories. These are some of the glories of the month of Shravan in this very beautiful favorite season of Krishna's monsoon season in Vrindavan. And again, it concludes our entire series on the 6 seasons of Vrindavan. Kind of sad, but of course, in Krishna consciousness, it only gets better. So we have many more lectures on Vrindavan and eventually Mayapur and Lord Chaitanya, etc. So we'll just keep going. But we'll finish the series with 2 short quotes from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Braj Riti Chintamani. They're short, but they're very relevant to our series. He writes, the 6 seasons with their various qualities occur at different times. In Vrindavan, Krishna enjoys pastimes in all the seasons every day. In Vrindavan, Krishna enjoys pastimes in all the seasons every day. And all the seasons render constant service to Krishna in Vrindavan. In all these seasons, the gopis serve Krishna by making ornaments from the flowers available in each and every season. Thank you, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So we'll conclude there, and we'll just dive into the treasure house of the literature of Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas, and find another series to talk about. And I have to decide what it's going to be. I don't know yet. It's often difficult to make a decision. It's like at the Sunday feast, you have so many sweets on your plate, different kinds. You don't know which one to eat first. But we'll find something appropriate. Prabhus, thank you so much for the privilege of doing this research and sharing all this information with you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dhamma ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yajna ki, back home, back to Godhead ki, Gaur Premanandi, Jai Jai Sri Sri Radhe